Hey guys, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany, and this is Tika's Gardens. And I have been doing some work over the last few days in the garden, and the front porch, kind of switching out the front porch for a spring summer look. I put out my Easter, springy Easter wreath and stuff like that on the porch, and, to have a lot of vibrant color. But now I've got some summer greens and a little bit of a creamy whites and pinks out there. I'll show you the wreath real quick, but I'm not going to show you the whole front porch because I'm still working on it. I have cleaned up. I've started weeding in the bed to my left and things like that, because that's really the last place left that I have not gotten to for weeds. So I started there, and I've been transplanting some more of the zinnia seedlings that dropped over in front of the vegetable garden fence from last year's zinnia. And I showed you some of the places I put, like in the courtyard garden and other places around the garden. Here along the fireplace wall, I'm going to put some out there. Like I said, I'm going to have temporary flowers there because of a potential upcoming project, and I don't want a lot of stuff in the way. There's an airplane coming in. Private jet. Fancy. I live near a private airport, for those of you who are new. So we have traffic coming and going. Right now, lots of ducks flying around the neighborhood, like what you hear right now. So lots going on in this neighborhood all the time. For the most part, it's quiet. And in the house, you don't hear the airplanes at all. But anyway, I'm going to be moving more of those zinnia seeds, and I'm going to show you what I did here with the pots near the back door. I have some travels coming up, and I know that means that I have plants that are not in the yard where the sprinklers can water them, they're not going to get watered, and I will lose them. So I decided not to do live plants for right now in my pots because of what I have coming up, and because I know what the end result will be. Everyone enjoys looking at the garden and walking through it, but I'm the only one who will get out and really work in it. So that means I'll lose my plants if I plant up the pots. So I've got faux there. So I will show you what I did there. I've got another pot that I need to get some faux in, so I'll show you that. And that's about it. So let's kind of walk around the garden and let me show you the zinnia seeds and where I've done weeding and things like that. And then we'll get this pot planted up here with the faux flowers and get the zinnia seeds in front of me out. All right, so let's go. All right, guys, starting right here, I've been cleaning up. You can see my big pile there. I've got a pile here. You can see that. And then I've got a pile here. I've got to work my way over to this little section, and there's a little bit behind that I have to get. And then I will be done with this bed. You can kind of see there. So I will get those, and then we'll be done with this bed here. I have to take care of the weeds in this section and in this section, and I've got a pile here where I kind of started, and then the last major area is here. So I have to get in there. Now there are some weeds just kind of stuck here and there, mainly in this section, which I will work on maybe later. But these are the sections that I have left for weeds, and that's what I have done so far. Here, this cherry tree, I said that I would give it until April to see what the tree itself does, and we definitely have growth from the roots. So today we are going to go ahead and cut down this big tree. It's not a graft, it's a Barbados cherry that was actually growing on its own on its own stems and everything. And yeah, I don't see any green or anything like that. You can look in there and see that that's pretty much rotted. So we do have growth coming from down there, so I'm going to cut the rest of this tree and let it put its energy into that growth and see what we get. And that is what our white roses look like. Very pretty when they're in bloom, but when they're old, they kind of are unsightly. But I still think they're beautiful when they're in bloom. Now here is the section that I kind of started weeding. I put these zinnia seeds out there. This one came up on its own from the zinnia that grew here last season. So I didn't have to plant that one. And then I put this one in. I have to finish. Let me step back. I want to finish going around the edge so it's like a circle of zinnia kind of in the shape of the bed. And I've got them backwards a little bit so that they can have room to grow forward. And then behind them, I'll fill it with things of a taller height. So that is the plan. I will get the celosia seeds that are starting to come back up. And here, I showed you before, this zinnia seed is, or a seedling, the dropping is doing fabulous and actually has a little bud on it. Now, when we come back over here, here is the collection of zinnia seeds. I moved one right here, which is where the original one was last year. And you can see it's even got a bud there ready to bloom. And I've put several out front in the front garden. Here is what's left. So we'll take from that and put in that half circle bed or moon shaped bed. And I just noticed we have squirrels digging in our vegetable bed here. Not good. My husband did get out and plant his seeds here in this bed, and I see squirrel messed up over there, so those seeds are probably gone. So he went too close to the blueberry bush after I asked him not to. And in spite of me saying, don't plant there, oh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. Not realizing that what he planted gets a pretty good size, and it is going to block sunlight, and it's going to kind of block the sprinkler when it comes up. So yeah, other people in your garden. And here are the zinnia seeds that I showed you from last video. You can see that the flower is almost opening on these little bitty ones. So they're coming along. They're coming along. And of course, I showed you that I had put a couple back near the Blue Point junipers. So that's that. So here is what I did with these pots. So guys, this is the display that I did at the door. I have my faux hydrangeas, and my shadow's in the way, sorry, but I have my faux hydrangeas there, and then I have that faux palm. And guys, this is absolutely stunning. The color combination, the richness, it's like this is the perfect location for this. I love it. And as I come this way, you can see it from behind or front. It's like it looks the same in all directions. It is absolutely gorgeous. Well, everyone, it is now time for me to tackle something that I have been putting off, and that is the Barbados cherry tree. Since the growth is coming from the roots, I am going to cut this dead tree down, and I really didn't want to do it. I was really hoping for life in that tree, but it's not there. So we're going to cut it and let it put its energy into the roots and into the new growth, and just go ahead and start from scratch. And I will get a pot, a large pot that I can put this in. So next season, when it is time to put this away because of frost, I can just slide the pot into the garage and protect it and hopefully keep my tree going, and so that it doesn't have to start over like this. But we'll see how things go. First, let's get this tree cut down. Luckily, it's really skinny, still a baby, so there shouldn't be too much hard work in getting it down. I am noticing though, as I try to cut, that my saw is not sharp. So I'll do my best and we'll get it down with what I have, and I'll sharpen this thing later. All right, guys. Well, I can mark that off of my list. I have been putting that off for a little bit, but I'm happy that it's done. I noticed my saw was not as sharp as it has been over the last years, and I've never had it sharpened since I've owned it. So I think that is a to-do thing that I need to add to the list. But it looks nice and clean, and now the energy of this plant can go into the new growth, and we should have a refreshed Barbados cherry coming back. I'll probably just let it grow into bush form. I don't know. I'm not going to say because I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that I'm just going to let it kind of grow into bush form. But anyway, that's what it looks like. Now on to the marigolds. So we're going to plant these. I figured I had them, I might as well use them somewhere. So I'm just going to plant them in this little section right here where there's a little bit of an opening in front of that gardenia radicans. So that will add a pop of color there. And I will also work in the half circle bed in front of the fireplace wall there. After this, we'll put some of the seedlings for the zinnias down. But that is what we're going to do for this area today. So let me just get this in ground, and then I will show you what everything looks like after we're all done. right, guys, I have finished everything. And before I show you what I've done in the front and then head back to the backyard, I wanted to show you the wreath. I've taken out the picks that had all of the nice, vibrant Easter, springy style colors. And I've got my green lush wreath, which I really love green wreaths. Say that fast 5 times. So what I did was I had it all green, but then I came back and thought, let me just put a couple or so picks with some color in it. And it's creamy whites and light pastel pinks in there, but mostly the whites stand out. And I think it's so pretty. And all of the picks came from Michael's. The wreath itself came from Ross, and I got it because of the rattan style frame on it. I knew that I could use that to use whatever picks and whatever I want to do to make this wreath look like any season. So that is what I did. I left the bow on, and it's gorgeous. So that's what I did with the wreath. That's a sneak peek. So now I have you're going to get glare because of the direction of the sun. So sorry about that. But I have those zinnia seedlings here, which kind of plays off of the ones that I showed you that I have there along that edge behind the Mexican heather. And I put the other zinnia seedlings over here. And I just noticed I have one still out. I'll find somewhere to stick that. Right here. And I have, as you can see, the hostas that I put right here underneath this tree, which needs to be pruned pretty good. But right now, we're focused on that. And I got everything watered in. And here are the other seedlings. And this one is starting to open up, as you can see. Gorgeous. But those are the other seedlings behind the fova lilies. And then, of course, along the front are the Mexican heather. And I just noticed a big clover growing inside of my Mexican heather there, so I'm going to have to get that. But anyway, I basically kind of turned the soil over just a little, just the upper layer, added the plant tone so the whole area is ready to plant. I think behind the zinnias, I'm going to do something tall, maybe Angelonia or something. These are all things that I know do good in our area. So that is what I did up front. These are the others along here, as I've shown you a couple of times. So now let's head to the backyard. Here is zinnia seeds here. So we've got that. Look at the beautiful color on this echinacea. That is so pretty. It didn't have nearly as many blooms like this or this size last season when I planted it. But as we come here, we have the marigolds. And I have my shadow in the way, so let me try to get out of the way. So you can see the marigolds there. And of course, the lantana started blooming like a week ago. It's beautiful. And here, I have not watered the zinnia seeds back here yet, seedlings rather, but here they are, as you can see. It's going to be beautiful as they touch. And then I have that bracteantha right there in the middle, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put it in this area or kind of pop it right back here for color in this little empty spot. I'm not sure yet, but I'm kind of leaning here to add some color. But then I'm wondering if it's going to be too much yellow between the marigolds and that. But I think it would be beautiful either way. So all I have left, guys, is to get my shadow out of the way first, but is to water these zinnias. And then that's it for this morning. But everything is going to look so beautiful if these zinnia seedlings continue to make it. And as I walk back here, you will see that there are still plenty more. Not as many because we've got them spread out in so many places, but there's still plenty more there to choose from, even coming up in the rocks, which I've actually pulled several from the rocks. Those are ones that I put back in the courtyard garden. So the angelonia are coming along. These angelonia over here are really growing. So that is gardening without spending $1 by taking up seedlings from last year. Like the vincas that are in the pot over there, the zinnia seeds that I've put all over the yard, I figure I might as well use them. So I can kind of put all of my energy and resources into the courtyard garden. But I think I'm going to take a little bit more time to think about where to put that and call it quits for today. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be it for today. Thank you for joining me in the garden, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.